30 watts. In order to make mine louder, I went down to, there was a tiny little music shop down in Ealing. And I went down there and I had this 30 watt amplifier with the amplifier and the speakers all in one box, which was shaking the amplifier too much. So I asked them to take the speakers out and put them in a separate cabinet to make a noise. And that was the best sounding bass cabinet I've ever had. And I was one of the first people, if not the first person, to ask Jim Marshall to make an amplifier for me. He ended up with that huge factory up at Bletchley, and he producing these amplifiers and deafening people all over the world. I remember the Macaris. There was a music shop in Ealing Road, Wembley, and I used to go in there instead of going to school, just somewhere to go. And that's where I bought my first Fender bass from, and I think he got me a Vox amplifier as well. With Sutch, when Richie was with us, we got the idea that we were the main attraction and we were better than Sutch. So we actually, believe it or not, Carlo, of all people, he thought this. And Carlo was the one that sort of nurtured Sutch and actually sort of made him what he was. And we decided to leave and branch out on our own. And I think the audience was about 2 people and a dog. It's a complete failure. Eventually, I was sort of out of a job again, and I went to South Harrow Memorial Hall, to see Alexis Corner, Rhythm and Blues Band. And there's Jack Bruce on double bass and Ginger Baker on drums, I think, was there. That sort of, Alexis Corner was just starting off this new thing called Rhythm and Blues. And I don't know how it happened, but this chap just approached me. I didn't know who on earth it was. And it was Cyril Davies, and he said he was with them, Alexis Corner, but he wanted to form his own band, and it was going to be the first band in the country with electric bass guitar, rhythm and blues. And was I interested? So I said, yeah. I don't know how, somebody must have pointed me out to him, because I didn't know he was. Strangely enough, he lived in South Harrow as well, the same as Sutch. So I joined up with Cyril and immediately got Carlo in with Nicky Hopkins and Bernard Watson, and that was that first Cyril Davies Rhythm and Blues Band. He was trying to do rhythm and blues as authentically as he could, and he said he'd sort of been listening to Lead Belly and all that sort of thing. That's at the first rehearsal we had. He said, "I've studied lead for 12 years," and we didn't know what he was talking about. Studied lead. He had good contacts with a big jazz agency, and they got us a lot of work. It was promoted very well, and we had they got us a residency at the Marquee Jazz Club on Wednesday nights, I think. But a lot of the small clubs, like that one, Ealing, that was just awful day. They didn't bother to paint the walls. Same as the Two Eyes. It was just hopeless down there, really dingy. And toilets, if anybody wanted to go to the toilet, they had to go out and probably use Piccadilly Circus Station. And then, of course, if they wanted to come back in, they get charged again to go back in. That was, Soho thing. So several clubs are dingy like that. Cavern in Liverpool, we went there with Brian Auger. And I think, really, if you wanted to go to the toilet, you had to use public toilets outside in the street somewhere. Pretty grim.